I gave my kidney to my sister because they told me she was dying. I went through 3 hours of surgery, 6 weeks lying on my couch, unable to lift properly. A 6-inch scar on my abdomen that will never disappear. 2 months after the surgery, I saw a photo of her parasailing in Cancun. Smiling, tanned, drinking a margarita on the beach. 3 months later, I found documents hidden in her bedroom. And I discovered something that destroyed me. The kidney I gave, the organ they removed from my body while I was anesthetized on an operating table, was no longer inside my sister. She sold it. $180,000. Black market. Buyer in South America. By the time I found out, it was too late. My kidney was inside a stranger's body in another country. My sister had pocketed the money, and me? I had a permanent scar and a hole in my body I could never fill again. This is the story of how my sister convinced me to sacrifice a piece of myself based on lies. How I discovered the truth when there was no turning back. And how I learned that the biggest betrayals don't come from strangers, they come from those who should protect you. Before I continue this story, I want to know something. Where are you listening from right now? Leave in the comments your country and city. I want to see how far this story is reaching, because I guarantee that no matter where you are, you'll relate to what comes next. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, this is the moment. Hit that red button now. Because every week I bring real stories like this, betrayals that left permanent marks, discoveries that came too late to undo the damage, and people who learned the hardest way possible that trust can cost far more than you imagine. Now stay with me until the end. Because what you just heard, that's just the beginning. The story gets much, much worse. Tuesday, March 12th, 2024. 6:47 in the morning. My phone rang. My mother. Voice shaking on the other end of the line. Sarah, it's about Rebecca. She's in the hospital. My sister. 2 years younger than me. We were never close. She lived with my parents at 26, while I'd left home at 18 to pay for my nursing degree myself. What happened? Kidney disease. Advanced stage. The doctors said without a transplant she has 6 months to live at most. I felt my stomach drop. How advanced? Stage 4, Sarah. They tested the whole family. You're the only match. The only one. Of course I was. I hesitated. I asked for 3 weeks to get tests done, talk to my own doctor, mentally prepare myself for the idea of giving up an organ. Rebecca's reaction was explosive. 3 weeks. I might not have 3 weeks. You're selfish. You always have been. And so it began. The pressure campaign. My entire family turned against me as if I'd announced I was going to personally kill my sister. Messages from my father. I never imagined I'd raise a daughter capable of watching her sister die. I'm disappointed in ways words can't describe. Rebecca's Facebook post. Learning that blood doesn't always mean family. Feeling alone when I need support the most. 43 comments from relatives and friends calling someone a monster without saying my name directly. But everyone knew who they were talking about. I lasted 2 weeks. Then I gave in. I called Rebecca. Okay, I'll do it. She cried on the phone. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. You're saving my life. I love you so much. I scheduled the surgery for April 3rd, 2024. 7 in the morning, they took me to the operating room. General anesthesia. Laparoscopic nephrectomy, fancy name for saying they'd make 4 holes in my abdomen, stick in a camera and instruments, and rip out my left kidney. 3 hours later, I woke up in recovery. Pain. So much pain. The kind of pain that hospital-grade painkillers barely control. Nobody prepares you for what it's like to lose an organ. Your body feels like something fundamental is missing. Because it is. I spent 2 days in the hospital. Rebecca was in the room next to mine. The doctors came to visit me with satisfied smiles. The transplant was a complete success. Your kidney is functioning perfectly in her body. You literally saved your sister's life. My mother showed up with flowers, crying. You're a hero, Sarah. Few people would do what you did. I'm so proud. My father held my hand. Thank you for saving your sister. On the second day, Rebecca came to my room, still pale, still within 4 in her arm, but smiling. Sarah, I'll never be able to thank you enough. You gave me my life back. I'll spend the rest of my life being grateful. I was stuffed with morphine. exhausted. But I felt that sense of peace of having done the right thing. Of having saved my sister. I had no idea of the mistake I'd made. 6 weeks of hell. Point zero mobility. Couldn't lift anything over 10 pounds. Couldn't work. Could barely shower alone in the first few days. I was isolated in my apartment. Friends brought food. My mother stopped by once a week to see if I was alive. Rebecca called occasionally. Always quick. Always superficial. Hi, Sarah. Just calling to say I'm feeling great. The doctors are impressed with my recovery. Your kidney is working perfectly. I tried to focus on my own recovery. On the long weeks, lying on the couch feeling my body slowly adjust to the loss. But in the 4th week, something started bothering me. Rebecca posted a photo on Instagram. Her at an Italian restaurant. Flawless makeup. Hairstyled. Huge smile. Caption. Finally getting out of the house. Feeling reborn. I frowned. I'm a nurse. I've worked with transplant patients for years. For weeks after surgery of this magnitude, you're not getting out of the house with perfect makeup. You're tired. Swollen. Dealing with side effects from immunosuppressants. Week 6. Another photo. Rebecca at the gym. Tight workout clothes. Posing in the mirror. Back to training. My body is grateful. The gym. 6 weeks after a kidney transplant, you can barely climb stairs, let alone lift weights. Something was very wrong. Week 8. The photo that really made me suspicious. Rebecca in Cancun, Mexico. Parasailing vest. 20 meters above the ocean. Drink in hand. Perfect tan. Caption. Living my best life. Life's too short not to enjoy it. I messaged immediately. You're in Cancun? Did your nephrologist clear international travel? Are you taking your immunosuppressants properly? Her response, 3 hours later. Relax, Sarah. I'm great. Better than ever. Your kidney saved my life. Stop worrying. But I couldn't stop. Because all of it was wrong. Everything. 3 months and 1 week after the surgery. I went to my parents' house for Sunday dinner. First time since the transplant, I'd been avoiding it because something about Rebecca's miraculous recovery made me uncomfortable. Rebecca wasn't there. Plans with friends, my mother explained. After dinner, I went upstairs to use the bathroom. I passed by Rebecca's bedroom. The door was open. I shouldn't have gone in. But I did. Just took a quick look. The desk was covered with papers. Bills. Bank statements. And a white envelope with a law office logo from Miami. Something made me pick it up. I opened it. Inside was a letter. Payment confirmation for organ brokerage services rendered. Amount $180,000. Date of service April 5th, 2024. 2 days after the transplant. I stood in the middle of the room holding that paper. Reading it again. Again. It didn't make sense. It couldn't make sense. Then I saw her laptop. Open on the bed. Screen still lit. She'd left in a hurry and forgotten to close it. I looked at the door. Nobody coming up the stairs. I looked at the laptop. I walked over. Sat on the bed. Email open. Inbox full. The most recent email, received 3 days ago, had the subject, recipient, final update, sender, Dr. Ricardo Mendez. I clicked. Rebecca, as per our last communication, I confirmed that the kidney was successfully transplanted into the final recipient in Sao Paulo, Brazil. His recovery is proceeding as expected. Excellent kidney function. Final payment of $180,000 has been transferred to the indicated account as agreed. Please destroy all documentation related to the transaction. Do not attempt future contact. Our partnership is officially terminated. Best regards. Dr. R. Mendez. My hands started shaking. I read it again. The kidney was transplanted into the recipient in Sao Paulo. Recipient. Not Rebecca. Recipient. My kidney wasn't in Rebecca. My kidney was in someone else. In Sao Paulo. In Brazil. I don't know how long I sat there. Maybe 5 minutes. Maybe 20. Finally, I managed to move. I went to her browser history. I found everything. Saved conversations. Screenshots of negotiations. Archived emails. 6 months of planning. Message from November 2023. Conversation with D. Laughing face. Fake kidney transplant is risky. If they find out, you go to prison. Rebecca, they won't find out. My sister is a nurse, bleeding heart, she'll donate. We do the surgery legally. 2 days later, second emergency surgery. We take her kidney out of me, put in one from a deceased donor, sell hers to the buyer. She never finds out. And you can really get the 180,000? Rebecca, already have a buyer in South America. Rich. Desperate. Top of the waiting list, but doesn't want to wait. Pays cash. I kept reading. Found the origin of everything. Gambling debts. Rebecca owed $60,000 to an online poker site. She'd borrowed from loan sharks when she couldn't pay. They'd given her a deadline, end of April, or they'd make her disappear. She needed the money. Fast, she found an organ broker, someone who connected illegal donors with desperate buyers. She hatched the plan. Fake serious illness. Get me to donate. Do a secret second surgery. Sell my kidney. Pocket 180,000. Pay the debts. Pretend everything worked out, and the diagnosis? A lie. She didn't have stage 4 kidney disease. She had stage 1. Mild, controllable with diet and medication. No need for a transplant for years, maybe decades, but she showed my parents falsified tests. Cried. Dramatized. And they believed without questioning, and me? I handed over my kidney on a silver platter. I downloaded everything. Every email. Every message. Every document. Sent it to my personal account. Then I called my mother. Get the family together. Now. Bring Rebecca. Emergency. Sarah, what now, Mom? An hour later, everyone was in my parents' living room. I connected my laptop to the TV. Before I start, I said, voice shaking, I want everyone to pay attention. Because what I'm about to show will change everything. I opened the first file. Dr. Mendez email, projected it on screen. My father read aloud, slowly. The kidney was successfully transplanted into the recipient in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Pause. Recipient? What recipient? He looked at Rebecca. She was white as a sheet. Sarah, I can explain. Shut up. I opened the payment confirmation. $180,000. Organ brokerage services. My mother gasped. Put her hand to her mouth. I opened the conversations with the broker. Projected everything, the plan, the lies, the second surgery, the sale. Rebecca didn't have severe kidney disease, I said, each word costing me. She had stage 1. Manageable. She lied to everyone. I showed the real tests versus the falsified ones. She made me go through surgery, took my kidney, and sold it for $180,000 to pay poker debts and loan sharks. Absolute silence. My mother started crying. My father stood up slowly. Looked at Rebecca. Tell me this isn't true. Rebecca tried to speak. Her voice failed. Tried again. I was desperate. The loan sharks were going to kill me. I had no choice. You stole your sister's kidney. I was going to die. They were going to kill me. So you decided to use your sister. Make her go through surgery. Steal a piece of her body. I didn't think she'd find out. It was supposed to be perfect. Everyone was supposed to be happy. I stood up. Walked over to her. Where is it? My voice was strangely calm. Where is my kidney now? Rebecca didn't answer. Where is my kidney? Sao Paulo, she whispered. A businessman. 58 years old. He paid $180,000. Name. I don't know the full name. The broker doesn't say. It's confidential. I grabbed her shoulders. You sold my kidney to a stranger and don't even know his name? My mother fainted. Literally fell to the floor. My father ran to help her. I looked at Rebecca. This person I thought I knew. My sister. Get out. Sarah, get out of my sight before I do something I'll regret. I filed a police report the next morning. The police investigated. FBI got involved, international crime, organ trafficking. They found the broker. Found the buyer in Brazil. Discovered an entire network, 14 properties in 6 states doing similar schemes. Rebecca was arrested 3 weeks later. Charges: conspiracy to commit medical fraud, illegal organ trafficking, document forgery. 6 more federal charges. She tried to plea bargain. Prosecutors refused. Went to trial. Got 8 years in federal prison. Will serve at least 6. But here's the problem. My kidney is still there. In Sao Paulo. In the body of a man named Eduardo something or other. I tried to get it back. Sued to force its return. The Brazilian judge denied it. The recipient acquired through intermediaries he believed to be legitimate. He is a victim too. We cannot force him to return the organ. My kidney. For the rest of my life. In someone else. I sued Rebecca civilly, won $300,000 in damages. She'll pay for the rest of her life. But money doesn't return an organ. My parents divorced 9 months later. Couldn't look at each other without remembering the daughter they'd raised. The daughter who stole her sister's organ. I don't talk to them anymore. Maybe a call every 3 for months, because they chose to believe Rebecca without questioning. Pressured me into surgery. They're part of the reason this happened. It's been 4 years. I'm still a nurse. Still working. Still living with one kidney, a scar, and the knowledge that part of me is living in someone else in another continent. I'm in therapy. Every week. PTSD. From the surgery. From the betrayal. From this feeling of violation that never fully goes away. Every medical appointment for the rest of my life. Do you have any pre-existing conditions? Yes. I'm missing a kidney. Why? And I have to relive it. Every time. I can never donate an organ to anyone again. If my future children need it. My future husband. Anyone in my family. I can't help, because Rebecca took that option from me. She gets out of prison in 2 years. I've already filed a permanent restraining order. She can't come near me ever again. My kidney is in Sao Paulo. Eduardo is 58 years old. Businessman. Rich. Probably doesn't even know the kidney keeping him alive was stolen. Sometimes I imagine confronting him, telling him the truth, but it won't change anything. The kidney is gone. The damage is done. All I can do is live with the absence. Here's what I learned. Trust is more dangerous than any disease. When someone says they're dying, you want to believe them. When family pressures you, you want to be the hero. When doctors confirm a diagnosis, you assume it's true, but people lie. Even family. Even about life and death. And once you donate an organ, there's no going back. The surgery is done. The organ is gone. And no amount of regret undoes it. If someone asks for your organ, verify everything. Yourself. Don't trust their doctors. Don't trust their word. Second opinions. Independent documentation. Hard questions, because if you don't, you might wake up 3 months later missing a kidney. And someone who sold it. And there's no cure for that. Just living with permanent loss of something irreplaceable. Rebecca took my kidney, but she took more. She took my trust. My belief in family. My ability to help future children. My sense of being whole. And she did it all while crying and thanking me. The worst betrayals come from those you love, who you trust, who know exactly how to manipulate you. Rebecca knew. I'd give in. She was right. And now I live with the consequences. Point 1 kidney, point 1 scar, point 1 lesson learned too late. If you've been betrayed by family in an irreversible way, leave never again in the comments. If you think I should have investigated first, leave verify. If you think 8 years in prison isn't enough, leave not enough. And subscribe to the channel, because every week I bring stories like this, betrayals that left permanent damage, truths discovered too late, and people who learned that family doesn't always mean loyalty. Also leave your country and city in the comments. I want to know how far this story reached. Thank you for listening. And remember, protect your body, because nobody else will do it for you.